Most creatives know how to shoot, but not how to build a business that actually pays them. When I started, I thought talent was enough. I believed if I just created good work, clients would magically show up. But that is so far from the truth. Talent alone doesn't build a business. Over the years, I've worked with artists, brands, and businesses. I've made mistakes. I've underpriced myself. I've been stressed out trying to figure it all out. But I learned how to build a real foundation, and that's what I'm here to teach you. This course is for creatives who can make beautiful work, but don't know how to turn it into something consistent. If you're just starting out and feel lost, this is for you. If you've been shooting for a while but can't seem to book clients regularly, this is for you. If you're tired of second guessing your prices, chasing after clients, or feeling like you're not taken seriously, this is for you. I know exactly how that feels, and that's why I built the foundation. I'll walk you through the essentials every creative business needs. We'll talk about how to find your style and define who you serve, how to set up your business properly so you're ready to get paid, how to package your services and price them in a way that makes sense. This isn't about theory. It's practical steps you can use right now. By the end of this course, you'll have a clear foundation to build from. No more guessing, no more struggling to look professional, just clarity and momentum. If you're ready to finally turn your talent into a real business, welcome to the foundation. Let's dive into what I think is the most important section of this course. And no, it's not money. I know that may sound crazy, but it's actually finding your style and your audience. Some of you may already have a defined style and know your audience, but if you do not, that's okay. Honestly, I revisit my style every year to improve on my work that I already have. For me personally, the goal is to become a commercial and music video director. In my opinion, these styles go hand in hand with my storytelling approach. Yes, I want my films to look and feel cinematic, but I also want to make sure I'm creating stories around brands' missions or an artist's vision when it comes to their music. At the end of the day, style is what you make it, right? It's the reason someone can scroll past a photo or a video and immediately know it's yours. Here's the truth. Your style doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be fully developed right now. But you do need to start making intentional choices. Think about your editing. Do you lean more moody and cinematic, or do you like clean and bright? Think about your camera angles and your shots. Do you shoot wide and dramatic, or do you get up close and personal? And think about your storytelling. Do you capture raw, gritty reality, or do you lean more towards a polished commercial look? There is surely no right or wrong when working on your style, but that's why your style and your audience is very important. Once you start shaping your style, you need to decide who you want to serve. I won't lie to you. When I first started, I used to say, I'll shoot anything for anyone as long as it pays. And yeah, I got a few bookings with that mindset, but I was always stressed out because I got stuck with projects that just didn't fulfill me. So these are the things I would like you to ask yourself. Do I want to shoot for brands? Do I want to shoot weddings? Do I want to shoot for music artists? Or do I want to focus on everyday people in portraits? My rule of thumb is to pick one lane to focus on first. You can always expand later. Or pick one lane and find another lane that correlates to your first lane. I know that was a lot, but here's an example. You're a wedding photographer. It may be a good idea to also shoot engagement, couple portraits, and family photos. These all correlate with one another. When you know your audience, your marketing gets way easier. You stop speaking to everyone and start speaking to someone, and that's when your message connects. Let's just make this simple. I want you to write a one-line statement about who you are and who you serve. It can go something like this. I am for example, I'm a wedding photographer for couples who want cinematic films, or I'm a photographer for lifestyle brands, or I'm a video director for music artists. Let's be clear, this is not marketing copy, this is clarity for you. It's a sentence that keeps you focused. I want you to take 5 minutes and actually write this down. Your style is clear and your audience is defined, you stop chasing everyone and you start attracting the right people. All right, before we move deeper, I want you to set your business up the right way. Most creatives just skip this part completely. They do things like take payments into their personal account, they lose track of all their taxes, and stress every time money comes in or out. So let's just focus on 4 steps for now. That's going to be getting your EIN, setting up your bank account, connecting the payment platform, and organizing your business essentials. The first thing you need is an EIN, an employer identification number. Think of it like a social security number for your business. You can get it free in about 10 minutes on irs.gov. Once you've applied, the IRS gives you a PDF confirmation. Download it and don't just leave it in your email. Save it to a folder called Business Essentials. You'll use your EIN to open your business bank account, apply for Stripe or PayPal, and file taxes. It's the foundation to your business identity. Next, register your business with your state. You can get a business license as a sole proprietor, or you can go get an LLC. Each state process will be different, so check in with your Secretary of State to understand how this works for you. Also, do more research to understand which business structure works best for your business. Once you've done these things, you need to open a business bank account. This keeps your money clean and separate from your personal life. This is very important. There are a few banks I recommend because they're online, have minimal fees, and lets you use the Profit First method. If you don't know about the Profit First method, I would recommend going to read Profit First. But here are those bank accounts. Novo, it's flexible, it lets you set allocations from when your money comes in and out, and it's easy to use. Relay is also great because it lets you set allocations and it uses the Profit First method. And finally, my personal favorite for freelancers is Found. It focuses on helping with taxes, show you how much to set aside, and even lets you take payments with features like Tap to Pay. All of these banks offer allocations, and that's one of my favorite features. Think about it like this. Instead of all of your money just sitting in one pile, you get to actually set percentages on how you want your money to flow. For example, in my business, my setup kind of looks like this. I have 30% set for taxes, 15% set for operations, another 15% set for cost of goods, 30% set to owner's draw, and then my last 10% is set to savings. And honestly, you can set this up however you want, but I would definitely recommend setting this up. That way you always know how your money is flowing in and out of your bank accounts. Once your bank account is ready, connect it to a payment platform. I use Stripe because it works with CRMs, websites, and invoicing tools, but you can also use PayPal, Square, or whatever works for you. The key is simple. All client payments should go directly into your business account, not your personal one. That separation makes you look professional and keeps tax season stress-free. Trust me, you want to make sure them taxes is on point. Now, let's organize these essential documents. Your file should live in a folder called Business Essentials. If you haven't created that folder yet, stop this video, go to your computer, go to Google Drive, or wherever it is you store your files, and create a Business Essentials folder. If you're old school and you like to print it out, that's okay too. I just want you to create a Business Essentials folder. Once you created that, here's the structure I recommend. EIN and tax documents. That'll be your EIN confirmation, your W-9s, and your yearly tax files. Bank statements. Download your monthly statements and store them in your Business Essential folder. Articles of organization, your LLC or your business registration documents. Brand asset, your logos, fonts, brand guidelines, contracts, templates, master contracts, NDAs, invoice templates, the works. This one folder will save you so much time. Anytime you need to prove your business status, or you're applying for funding, or you're ready to file taxes, you'll know exactly where everything is. Business setup doesn't have to be overwhelming. Get your EIN, open a business bank account that works for you, connect it to a payment platform, and keep your essentials organized, please. Once you do this, you're no longer just creating, you're operating a real business, and that's a big shift. Okay, let's talk about building your offer and pricing. Now, I know this is a tough one for a lot of us. This is the area where most creatives struggle, pricing. Most people just guess, they pick a number out of the air, or they charge what they think clients can afford. But if you want to run a real business, you need a pricing model that covers your costs, pays you, sets money aside for growth, and puts away taxes. This way, you're not just getting paid, you're building stability. All right, so where do we start? Start with your project costs, the thing you need to deliver the work. This might be gear rental, paying a second shooter or an assistant, props or wardrobes, editing style, etc. If your shoot costs you $100 in rental, your price has to start higher than $100. Otherwise, you're already losing money. So for example, let's say you're a photographer and you use Photoshop and it costs you $100 a year. What I would do is take that $100 and divide it by the 12 months that you would use it, and then add that into your price. Or you can take that Photoshop price, divide it by 12 months, and then take a percentage of that and add that into your price. That way, every month, Photoshop is being paid for. All right, next, let's add your pay. This is what you want to make for your time and your skills, not profit. That's different. Just your personal paycheck from the project. For example, you might want to make $300 for your effort. Add that on top of your cost. So now we got Photoshop plus the money that you want to make. Now let's add a little profit. This is the money you want to set aside for growth, gear upgrades, running ads, or just a safety net. I recommend starting around 5 to 10% profit. So if your subtotal is $350, 10% profit would give you $35 on top of that. And now you're at $385. And finally, if you're self-employed, you're responsible for paying your own taxes. That means you need to set aside a percentage from every project. I personally recommend putting away 25 to 30% just to be safe. Everybody's tax rate is going to be a little different, but I typically do mine at 30% just to be on the safe side. I never have to use all 30%, but I never want to be in a situation where I didn't save enough to pay taxes. I always want to be in a situation where I have more than enough, and in that way I can just keep the rest after I pay my taxes. Now again, this is going to be different for everybody based on what your tax rate is. Some of you guys might do 15%, some of you guys might do 25%, and some of your tax professionals and CPAs might recommend a different number. I am not a tax professional, but this is how I operate whenever I am charging a client for a project. And this is just an example. But once you calculate all of those numbers, your breakdown should be something like this. You should have money to cover your gear. You should have money to pay you. You should have money that goes towards profits or savings. And then you should have money that goes towards taxes. Whatever that number looks like for you, that's how the allocation should be set. So let's go back to our business bank account and those allocations that I talked about earlier. Remember, set those allocations up so that way when you get paid, these things automatically separate and go into your different buckets for you. So your pay will go to owner's draw, your operating expenses will go to operating expenses, taxes will go to taxes, etc., etc. And that's why those things are important, because they go hand in hand. And this will keep your business stable for a lot longer than just having everything go into one pile and then you have to figure out what numbers go where. Especially when you start getting booked a lot, you want to make sure that every dollar has a job. All right, here's the fun part. Let's build these packages. Once you know your minimums, you can start building packages. Packages makes it easy for clients to buy because they can choose instead of negotiating. Here's an example structure. You can have a starter package at $550 that comes with 1 video and 10 photos. You can have a core package that could be double that, and then a premium package that could be triple that. It's really up to you how your workflow is and what you want to make. In the beginning, don't overthink this. Trial it, see what works. Also, keep tabs on how many hours it took you to edit, how many hours it took you to shoot that project, and everything that you needed to make that project go from start to finish. Once you figure that out, you can build your packages based on your workflow, who you need to hire, and what you want to make. Lastly, let's set some goals. Let's keep it real. Your first goal doesn't need to be $100,000 a year. Maybe your first goal or milestone needs to be $1,000 per month. That's where those packages and your pricing play hand in hand. If you have a package at $500, then you know your goal is to sell 2 of those packages to reach your monthly goal of $1,000. Go all in if you want to. You can be as optimistic as you want to, but remember, have that price, create that package, and then set that goal. When you price this way, you stop guessing. You know your floor, you know the lowest amount you can charge without losing money, you know how many projects you need to hit your goal, and you know you're putting aside profit and taxes so you can grow without stress. This is how you move from hustling to building. Remember, project costs plus your pay plus profit plus taxes equals your price. That's your formula. That's your foundation.